5-star, 4 stars Parade Hotel. Inside this building is where Sir Winston Churchill, who's covering 4-time Prime Minister, getting secretly 4-time officers people. And I mentioned it as they recently been open to the public. And you can visit them today, the War Room and White. Now, if you're up on the top, wave and smile at the people. Now, if there's anybody up there, don't be shy. There we go. Hello. There we go. Friendly people. The Royal Barge. So many members of the royal family, if they travel out on the river, well, this was the ship they used to sail upon. How did you proceed? Royal family today, they have a few boats. Beautifully hand painted in gold leaf, and then just leave that one there for when Harry and Meghan return to London. It's the spare. Now folks, you have actually chosen an excellent time to travel on the river. We are approaching the high water. We're about 5 or 6 metres of tide at the moment. The tide has been flooding into London and the level has been rising. It's risen. We'll see, if you see the measuring stick there on the left, okay, so about, not quite 6 metres, about 5.5 metres. Now to know these lions, they are tired as an early flood warning. Now, not so long ago, the police, they would patrol the embankments, and if one of these lions' heads was covered, submerged in water, then the London Underground system, it was at risk of flooding. And they would raise the alarm and they would evacuate the surrounding stations. Now the Victorian police, they had a rhyme to remember this. When the lions are drinking, then London is sinking. Thank you. Or if the lions' heads are ever ducked, then London is completely flooded, shall we say. A flood barrier further downriver now, and if necessary, we can close the Thames barrier. It's a nice escape. For the river, it is a King's Waterway, a royal highway. When the architect designed the Oxo Tower, he cleverly designed the company branding into the windows to get past this law. They were taken to court for breaching the advertisement ban, where they said it was simply a coincidence. Never intended to spell the company name, and they won their name, and they had free advertisement up there for us. We would have had to have gone through the centre arch at Blackfriars. As the tide rises, we lose clearance, you see. So part of our discipline to become captains here on the river, we learn all the individual arches of 32 bridges. So we know the river very well. We want to make sure we can squeeze underneath the arch safely. Now looking up to your left, and there's the magnificent dome of St Paul's Cathedral. Sir Christopher Wren's masterpiece. That was completed in 1710, and it was the tallest building here in London right up until 1962. So before then, it was illegal to build anything taller. It took 35 years to build, and Sir Christopher Wren, the famous architect, he is buried in there, buried in the crypt alongside Lord Nelson and the Duke of Wellington. Now it is magnificent both inside and out, and if you visit St Paul's, you can actually climb all the way up to the top of the dome, up to the Golden Gallery. Now the views from the top, they are simply breathtaking, but some of the 528 steps to get there. So just bear that in mind, there is no lift. You have to climb to the top, rewarded with excellent views. The building to your right is with a large chimney. That was formerly the Bankside Power Station. That building is famously the largest modern art gallery in the world, Tate Modern, completely free to visit, free and open to all. If anyone has ever seen modern art, then you'll understand why it's free. Some weird and wonderful exhibits on display. And staying on your right, behind the trees here, the white circular timber framed building. This is William Shakespeare's Globe Theatre. Now the building, it is an exact replica to the style of playhouse that would have stood here in the old entertainment area known as Bankside. And it is a working replica. So inside they reenact all of the old Shakespearean plays. Now folks, they are all performed in the traditional manner. So there's no electricity, no stage lighting, no amplification, and also no toilets. So it is very much to pee or not to pee. That is the question. If you can go and see a play in there, it's very good value. You can see a play for as little as £10 each. I'm sure you all agree. £10 for a live commentary in London, and it is fantastic value. And here on the right, just before the bridge, in the corner, there's a staircase. Now, historically, this is how you would have crossed the river before the bridges in London. You would walk down these steps, and you would have boarded a waterman's ferry. You would have paid the waterman a fare in a small silver bucket, and they would have rowed you across the river to your desired destination. And that is a tradition that still continues in London even today. Watermen like us, carrying fare-paying passengers like yourselves. And the licence we obtain is a very historic licence. Dates back to the early 1500s during the reign of King Henry VIII. So a very historic tradition. And here to the right, there's a lovely old London pub here, folks. Now what we'll do is we'll give the people in the beer garden away. Some of these people are recognised from 11 o'clock this morning. They've been there all day, so we'll wake them up a little bit. Now the Anchor pub, you can see with the golden sign and the pretty flowers, established in 1615. So there's been a riverside pub here for over 400 years. And the likes of William Shakespeare, Samuel Pepys, Charles Dickens, myself and the captain. Just a few of the famous Englishmen to have had a pint in that pub. And ladies and gents, I think we have decided, we're going there tonight. You will find me and the captain and our lovely crew in the Anchor pub at 8 o'clock this very evening. You are all formally invited. It's nice to see some familiar faces. Just so you know, it is for research purposes, for educational purposes. So the Anchor Tavern about 8 o'clock. See you there. Now there's a little pirate ship here to the right. Does anybody remember the Pirates of the Caribbean? Yeah, the films with Johnny Depp. If you have a look closely at this ship, you will realise that it's got nothing to do with those films. And that is in fact the Golden Hind. It is a sea-going replica of Sir Francis Drake's vessel. And Sir Francis Drake, well, he was the first English captain to circumnavigate or sail around the world. The ship you see there is a replica, so it's been around the world twice. It's a proper working pirate ship, but it is currently a museum in the dock today, so that's the Golden Hind. Behind the trees here on your right, Southwark Cathedral. There's been a place of worship on this site for 1,000 years. Within Southwark, you have the Harvard Chapel, named after John Harvard, son of a local butcher, who was one of the co-founders of the prestigious Harvard University in the United States of America, so baptised in there. And this is London Bridge. If you look to your left, and with your cameras, there's the main London Bridge. Now this is the 5th London Bridge to cross the river at this location. The Romans, they built the first ever river crossing here in around 43 AD. This present day bridge, for the one you're looking at here, this was opened in 1973 by Queen Elizabeth II. And the one before this one, so the 4th London Bridge, in the late 1960s, it was taken down stone by stone. Each individual stone was numbered, and it was shipped across the Atlantic and reassembled. Does anybody know where? Correct, right at the front here. Lake Havasu City in Arizona, in the USA. Are you from the USA? In Arizona, there we go, front of house seats here. So your bridge that you've got now, it used to be there. And today it's in Arizona, Lake Havasu City, bought by Robert McCullough in the late 1960s, an American businessman. Now the story that goes with this is apparently he thought he was buying the other London Bridge, Now, there's sometimes some confusion here. A lot of people think Tower Bridge is London Bridge. That's incorrect. So that's how it goes. Apparently he's very disappointed, but it is in Arizona, that's a fact. And the blue glass building to your left, well, that is home to the London Association of Window Cleaners. Just seeing who's still with me out there. And if you look beyond that to the left, you see the tall building gets wider as it gets taller. You see the people up there, the walkie-talkie building. So where the people are on the balcony, that is London's Sky Garden. And you can go all the way to the top of this building where those people are for free. Okay, it doesn't cost a penny. Now it is popular, and they do recommend you book in advance. You can just turn up, and when you get there, there's a bar, a restaurant, and a garden. Sky Garden. Now, alternatively, you can visit the Shard up on your right, and up there on the 72nd floor, there is a public viewing gallery. However, they will charge you £30 each. Now, on the right, we have London's very own warship, the HMS Belfast. It has been permanently moored since the 1970s. The early 1970s, it permanently moored. Saw action during the Second World War. It last fired its guns during the Korean campaign in the early 1950s, where it was the flagship for the United Nations. Now, it was built in Belfast, in Northern Ireland, at the Harland and Wolff shipyards, the same place that built the ill-fated Titanic. Launched on St. Patrick's Day, 1938. And it is a floating museum, so you can climb on board the ship, and as you can see, it also acts as a berth for visiting ships here. Now we've got this Lapérouse ship that arrived yesterday or the day before. So the Belfast is part of the Imperial War Museum, and it's definitely something to consider if the weather changes. Thankfully, forecast for the next couple of weeks, glorious sunshine, but if it does start to rain, it's good for the young children. You can explore all 9 decks, a lot of it's inside, so a little recommendation. Now to the left, this is Tower Pier. Okay, we will be calling into the pier here on the left very, very shortly. What we like to do on this boat is we like to take you just a little bit past the pier, and when it is clear and safe to do so, folks, the captain, he'll manoeuvre the boat, and this is so everybody gets a nice view, a nice photo opportunity of one of London's most famous landmarks, okay, the iconic Tower Bridge. So stay where you are, we're going to manoeuvre the boat, and we'll turn the boat round to the left, so we'll have a nice unobstructed view here on our right in a few minutes. Now on your left, you'll see the Tower of London, the famous fortress. Is the reign of William the Conqueror. Construction started at the Tower of London in around 1078. So it is very old indeed. Now the oldest part is the centre castle. You see the square section with the 4 turrets. That is known as the White Tower or the Norman's Keep. And on display in there today are the crown jewels guarded by the Yeoman Wardens. You might know them better as beef eaters. They reside in the castle with their families. Now the term beef eater derives from a French word, bouffetier, which means servant to the crown. So they are military personnel, men and women. They know all the gory history, all the gruesome details, and if you ever go in there, they will give you a tour of the Tower of London. So there we go, we've got you nice and close to the bridge now. The tide is flooding in ahead of us. Now as we turn the boat, folks, please be advised, we are susceptible to the waves, okay? And the tide will push us back up the river. It's a very fast flowing current here on the River Thames, so just be careful as we manoeuvre the boat, okay? Now Tower Bridge, it is unique. It is the only bridge of its kind anywhere in the world, being both suspension bridge and bascule bridge. So the bascule part is the middle section. It opens like a double-sided drawbridge, and this will allow large ships or tall-masted vessels in and out of the City of London. So looking at the bridge, in each of the bridge footings beneath the towers, there is a giant counterweight mechanism, and that's what causes each of those bascules to raise to up to a 90-degree position in around 45 seconds. We ask, please remain seated if you can, whilst we get you safely alongside the pier. If you are standing at the bank, that's okay. As we come into contact with procedure is for you to remain seated. Okay, folks? Now, some travel information. Please listen very carefully. Okay, this folks, we will stop here for about 5 minutes, not very long. Okay, we're going to get some people off, and then we'll be on our way to Greenwich. Okay, if anyone is travelling to Greenwich, please remain on board this boat. Okay, I think we're going to be the last one due to the cancellation. I think we're the last one going back to Greenwich this afternoon. If we stay, I will stay on if you are travelling to Greenwich. Everybody else, change boats. Change boats to go back. Change here for the tour buses. Okay, there's no tour buses in Greenwich. And of course, leave us here if Tower here is your destination. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I'll be at the exit if you've got any additional questions, folks. I'll be down by the exit. Now, before you leave us, make sure you've got your bags, so you don't leave anything behind to spoil your day. That's on this fine afternoon. Really hope you enjoyed yourselves on the Millennium of Peace. Oh, please, please, please.